Imagine a gaming universe where you're not bound by the confines of a linear storyline, but free to explore vast landscapes at your own pace. This is the allure of open-world games, a genre that has redefined the boundaries of interactive entertainment. Let's journey back to the dawn of open-world exploration. The year was 1981, a time when the gaming landscape was dominated by arcade classics. Then, a revolutionary title called Ultima emerged, taking gamers on an unprecedented journey. Unlike other games of its time, Ultima offered a world where players could freely roam and interact with the environment. It was a game that didn't just allow you to follow a path, but to create your own. This groundbreaking approach to gaming gave birth to a genre that has captivated millions of gamers worldwide. Ultima set the stage for a new era of gaming, where exploration wasn't just an option, but an integral part of the experience. Scene script. Fast forward a decade to 1991, and we find ourselves in the pixelated streets of Neverwinter Nights, marking a new milestone in open-world gaming. While the 80s brought us the dawn of open-world exploration, the 90s showed how this concept could be expanded and refined. Neverwinter Nights was a game that not only allowed players to explore a vast, expansive world, but also introduced a multiplayer component, a feature that would become integral to the modern gaming landscape. In Neverwinter Nights, the world was not just an open book for the player to read at their leisure. It was a shared space, a place where gamers could interact with each other. This was a groundbreaking concept at the time, a concept that would lay the foundation for the massively multiplayer online role-playing games, or MMORPGs, that we know and love today. As players navigated the streets of Neverwinter, they weren't just exploring a pre-programmed world, they were shaping it, influencing it. They could team up with other players to tackle challenges, or they could go head-to-head in player versus player combat. The game was a living, breathing entity, a world that was constantly evolving and changing based on the actions of its players. This new layer of interactivity added a level of depth to the open-world concept that had not been seen before. It wasn't just about exploring a world, it was about sharing that experience with others. It was about forming alliances, making enemies, and carving out your own unique space within the game's universe. The introduction of multiplayer in Neverwinter Nights had a profound impact on the gaming industry. It showed that an open world wasn't just a playground for a single player, but a communal space where gamers could come together, interact, and shape their own stories. This was a pivotal moment in the evolution of open-world exploration. The lines between single-player and multiplayer began to blur, creating a more immersive and interactive gaming experience. With Neverwinter Nights, exploration became a shared experience, adding a new layer of depth to open-world games. In 2001, a new chapter in the open-world genre was written with the release of Grand Theft Auto 3. This game took the concept of open-world exploration and turned it on its head. Instead of simply providing a vast landscape to traverse, Grand Theft Auto 3 offered a living, breathing cityscape that players could freely roam. This wasn't just a playground. It was a sandbox filled with endless opportunities and dynamic experiences. The game's Liberty City was more than just a backdrop for the action. It was a character in its own right. The city pulsed with life, teeming with non-playable characters who went about their daily routines, reacting to the player's actions in real time. It was an environment that felt alive, a world that existed independently of the player, yet was directly affected by their actions. But Grand Theft Auto 3 didn't stop at creating a vibrant open world. It also offered players a myriad of activities to engage in, from high-speed car chases to stealthy assassinations, from taxi driving to firefighting. The game blurred the lines between main missions and side activities, allowing players to shape their own narrative and play at their own pace. And speaking of narrative, Grand Theft Auto 3 presented a compelling storyline that was deeply interwoven with the gameplay. It was a tale of betrayal and revenge, A narrative that unfolded organically as players explored the city, carried out missions, and interacted with the game's diverse cast of characters. The realism and interactivity offered by Grand Theft Auto 3 were unprecedented at the time. The game's seamless integration of exploration, action, and narrative set a new standard for the open-world genre, influencing a generation of games that followed. Grand Theft Auto 3 broke the boundaries of what was thought possible in open-world games, adding a level of realism and interactivity that was unparalleled at the time. And in doing so, it didn't just redefine exploration, it redefined what it meant to be an open-world game. In recent years, we've seen games like The Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2 take open-world exploration to new heights. They've pushed boundaries and set new standards, showing us that the virtual worlds we traverse can be as rich and complex as the real one. Take The Witcher 3, for instance. In this game, exploration isn't just about finding new locations or completing quests. It's about immersing yourself in a detailed world brimming with lore, where every nook and cranny tells a story. This game has woven intricate narratives into the fabric of its world, making exploration a deeply engaging and rewarding experience. From the bustling cities to the desolate wilderness, every location is a piece of a larger interconnected puzzle that the player is encouraged to solve. Then we have Red Dead Redemption 2, a game that has elevated the concept of dynamic exploration. Here, the world isn't static, it's alive. Wildlife roams the landscapes, reacting to the player and each other in real time. Non-playable characters, or NPCs, have their own routines and react differently based on the player's actions. It's not just about exploring a world, it's about interacting with it, influencing it, and watching it react to you. These games have taken open-world exploration from a simple mechanic to a complex, immersive experience. They've shown us that exploration is more than just a means to an end. It's a journey, a story in itself. They've filled their worlds with depth and detail that encourage players to slow down, to look around, to engage. And this is just the beginning. As technology advances, we can expect even more immersive, even more detailed worlds. We can expect worlds that react to us in ways we've never seen before. We can expect worlds that are not just backdrops for our adventures, but integral parts of them. These games have not only redefined exploration, but have raised the bar for what gamers can expect from open-world titles in the future.